Hi, Nadia Lapointe here. I'm going to teach you a series of stretches to help decompress your spine. So we're going to elongate the spine, create space between each vertebrae, and help the overall circulation and nerve flow to the rest of the body. We're going to do one stretch of your cervical spine. We're going to do one of the thoracic, one between the thoracic and lumbar, and then one last one of the lumbar spine. So before we start, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up for our spine. You can be sitting with your legs crossed or sitting in a chair. Place your hands on your knees. We're going to round and extend our spine just to start. So rounding back, extending forward. So you're trying to round back and then round forward, including the neck, middle back, and lower back. So make sure you're getting the head involved in the movement. As you flex, chin tucks in. As you extend, look up to the ceiling. So this could be done fairly quickly, and you're not looking for a stretch, and you're definitely not wanting any pain involved. So make the movements as big or as small as you can, as long as there's no pain and as long as you're not forcing too much at the end of the movement. Good. Slow it down and release. Nice work. We're going to go into spine side bending, and the way we're going to do that is by hiking one hip up towards our rib cage and then the other side. So as your hip lifts, your shoulder drops, and your head tilts a little bit to the side. So you're going from side to side. Make sure you're including the head, the neck into the movement. Make this as quick as you want. It's not about working really hard. It's just about freeing up any kinks in your spine before we get started. A few more. And slow it down and release. Good. Now you're going to bring your arms into cactus position. If it's too much on your shoulders, you can cross your arms on your shoulders. We're going to go into rotation. Get your head involved, so make sure you're turning your head with the rest of the body. So keep your elbows at shoulder height if you can. That will rotate more through the middle of your spine. And then lift your elbows a little bit higher, and that will create more rotation in the upper spine. And then drop the elbows lower than the shoulders. Now you're rotating more through the low back. Back to shoulder height. Slow it down and release. Nice work. All right, the first decompression stretch I'm going to teach you is to release the part that connects the lower back to the middle of the spine. So it's the thoracolumbar junction. You're going to sit with your legs long, and you're going to bring your legs about the width of your mat. So just a little bit past the hip distance. And you're going to take your right leg and you're going to bend it in, and you're going to flex your left foot towards you, and you're going to rotate your whole leg bone inward. So you're rotating from the hip joint, so the whole leg rotates inward. And you're going to sit tall. You're going to extend your right arm up, rotate the arm bone completely externally, and you're going to find the 45-degree angle. Pull the fingers back so you're extending at the wrist, and you're staying tall. And now the most important part of these stretches is to have your spine as flat as possible. So to flatten your low back, you're going to let your tailbone tuck under. So you're it's like you're rounding your low back, getting rid of that natural curve. Your breastbone has to pull forward so that it flattens the thoracic spine. And then you're going to tuck your chin in like there's a string pulling the crown of your head to the ceiling. And that will help flatten the cervical spine. And you hold this, so you're pulling up towards the ceiling, you're anchoring your sits bones down into the floor, you're pushing through your heel one way, you're reaching with your arm back the other way, and it creates tension through this cross chain, and it crosses right around T11, T12 in your lower thoracic spine, and then you breathe. 10 deep breaths. Take your time here. Full breaths. Try and breathe into the area we're trying to stress, so just at the base of the breastbone, just below the breastbone. It's like you're trying to lift your ribs off of your pelvis. And then check in. Tailbone tucked under, breastbone pull forward, chin tucked in. Feel the string pulling you up towards the ceiling. Palm of your hands reaching to the right. Heel of your right foot reaching away. Leg is still internally rotated. Toes are towards your head. Keep this position. Keep breathing. And once you're done your 10 breaths, you slowly flex the arm, bring it back in. Release the foot, release the toes. Extend the other leg and breathe. Let it go. So the idea behind these stretches is really to put the whole system into stretch right around the area you're trying to decompress. And then you're building strength of the muscles that are going to keep you in that decompressed state. So it's not good enough to just hold a stretch. It's holding the stretch but using your muscles to create space so that when you come out of the position, you're now stronger in a decompressed state. Other side, extend the right leg to the outer edge of the mat, pull in the left foot. Foot is straight, pull your toes towards you, rotate the leg inward. Arm forward, externally rotate, and then lift and find your 45-degree angle. So there's pulling one way, there's pulling the other way, and you're finding the junction right between the thorax and the lumbar spine. Tuck your chin in, flat C-spine. Tuck your tailbone under, flatten L-spine. Chest forward, and breathe. 10 deep breaths takes about 1 minute. So you're holding these stretches for about a minute each. And then you're constantly checking in. Am I tucked in? Is my tailbone tucked under? Is my chest pulled forward? String to the ceiling, sits bones towards the floor. Heel going out one way. The palm of your hand going the opposite way. Fingers are pulled back, toes are pulled back, leg is internally rotated. Information overload. But the more you do these, the more automatic it becomes, and your whole focus is just on breath and trying to keep this position in as much ease as you can. When you're done your 10 breaths, release the arm, release the toes, extend your leg, and then breathe and relax. So now we've sort of decompressed the central part of your spine, which is really critical if you want to take pressure off the neck and upper spine or the low back. You really want to free up the middle part of your body first. Good. Now we're going to move up a level to the middle of the thoracic spine, around T6. And I mean, as you're focused on T6, you're still decompressing above and below, but the position we're going to go in is really targeting more so that area. So you're going to cross your legs in, and you're going to sit tall. You're going to, so the legs aren't part of this necessarily, they're anchoring into the floor. The arms are going to come behind your neck, elbows back, and then you're going to start reaching your hands up over your head, palm touching palm, and you're going to keep rising up towards the ceiling. So you're creating a stretch, and you might be feeling that in the middle of your spine. Once you're here, check in with your spine. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the breastbone forward, tuck your chin back. That should pull quite a bit if it's not a part of your body you're used to stretching. And then anchor down through the sits bones. Think of the string pulling up through the crown of the head, and you're most likely already breathing. You're already counting how many breaths. It's 10 slow breaths. Trying to breathe in the area you're trying to decompress. So now you're breathing just in the space behind your breastbone. So in your middle upper back. You're creating space, you're exhaling, and you're relaxing so that the tension, especially of the fascia, of the connective tissue, releases. But you're also building power and strength of the muscles to decompress the spine. So finding the balance between using strength and releasing using ease. When you're done your 10 breaths, slowly bend your elbows, bring the palms down in front of you, and then release your hands, and then relax the spine. Good work. All right, we've released the lower thoracic, mid-thoracic. Now we're gonna go into neck. And the neck one is gonna be done laying on your back. And I'm gonna turn my mat for you. Once you're on your back, you're going to bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Make sure your shoulder blades are nice and relaxed into your mat. You're going to bring one knee up towards your chest, then the other one. So we're going into like a double tabletop. Then you're going to lift one arm, lift the other. You're going to rotate your arm bones externally, so now your palms are facing towards the room, the wall behind you, the crown of your head. And then you're going to flex your wrists back again, so wrist extension, creating tension through the system. And now check in with spine. So tuck the tailbone under, flatten your low back into the mat. You're going to be pulling your chest, breastbone up towards the ceiling, flattening the thoracic spine. And then tuck your chin in, flattening the cervical spine. And because we're focusing on cervical spine, you're going to slightly be lifting our head up off the floor and then looking between your legs as close to the floor as you can. So your eyes are looking down low, like you're trying to look at your pubic bone. And you're going to breathe. And then you check in. Is my lumbar spine flat? Tuck the tailbone under. Breastbone pulls up towards the ceiling. You can help using the palms of your hands up to the ceiling. Flatten the cervical spine, so make sure that chin is tucked in, so you're lengthening that cervical spine, and you keep looking down towards your pubic bone and you're breathing. Same idea, 10 slow breaths. You might feel the muscles at the front of your neck, like in your throat, work really hard. That's great. Those are the muscles we're trying to strengthen. Those are the muscles that are going to help decompress the cervical spine. So we want those muscles stronger. If you can't hold a minute, that's okay. You're going to build your way to a minute. So see how many breaths you can. You don't want to go through pain, so if it hurts, you lower your head. And when you're done your 10 breaths, slowly release the arms, slowly drop the head down. Use your hands if you need the assistance. Arms come down, lower one foot, lower the other. And then just relax and breathe. Let all the muscles in the front of your throat, let them relax as much as you can. And then sort of enjoy the experience of your neck feeling longer. Inside your neck, like in the throat area, we have muscles that we call the deep neck flexors. And for anybody who has a chronic history of neck issues, strengthening those muscles is often one of the best methods of having like long-term success with treatments. So enjoy the stretching of the neck and let your body go here. Let all the tension you just created, let it go before we move on to the next one. Good. Last one, lumbar spine. You're going to be on your back once again, except this time you're going to be up against the wall. So I'm going to move my mat here against this wall. My wall's on a bit of an angle. It's not like a flat wall. So you want to be up against the flat wall. And what you want to do is you want to scoot your bum right up to the wall, because your bum has to be in contact with the wall. So you're going to lay on your back, but your bum's going to be touching the wall. Your legs are going to be about a little bit past hip distance apart. Flex your feet and then rotate your leg bones inward, going into that internal rotation, and your big toes touch here. But keep flexing your toes down. If it's too tight, your hamstrings are too tight, you can feel free to have your knees bent. So find how straight you can take your legs where you can maintain the position. So you don't want to be like an extreme pulling behind your legs. It's more about your spine. So see where you could find that a position you can tolerate. Pulling the feet back. Good. Arms come up and then externally rotate so the palms are facing away from the wall. And you're going to pull your fingers back, going into wrist extension. And you're going to let your arms drop close to your ears. So your arms are straight, 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 and they're on each side of your ears as far as you can go. If it doesn't touch the floor, that's fine. Wrists, fingers are pulling back, wrist extension. Arms are rotated externally. And then checking with your spine. Tuck the tailbone under. Pull the breastbone off the floor a little bit if you can. And then tuck your chin. Your head doesn't come up off the floor here, but you're going to keep looking down with your eyes. So it's like you're trying to look at your pubic bone, but don't lift your head off the floor. So your eyes are looking down, and you're holding this position. Now you're going to take your deep breaths in this position, checking in, and think of the lowest part of your spine, so L5, that connects to the sacrum. Think of like really pulling that down towards the floor. So as you breathe in, you're breathing deep into your belly. You're trying to create space at L5S1, and you're really making sure that L5 is down into the floor. And you find the balance between muscle contraction and ease. So you're trying, every time you take a deep breath, you're pulling on the fascia, so you're trying to get rid of tension in the fascia system. But you're also using your muscles to strengthen your body in a way that it can stay decompressed as long as possible. And the more you do these exercises, the more you build endurance in those muscles, and the more you are in a decompressed state even in standing when you're against gravity. So 10 deep breaths, and when you're done, you slowly release the arms first, bring them down, relax your toes, and then bend one knee, bend the other, and then roll to one side to bring yourself back up. Once you're done this series of stretches, like we've just done, it's a good idea to lay on your mat flat into like corpse pose. So just laying flat, arms to either side, palms face the ceiling, legs are out straight, they're just as relaxed, kind of legs flopping out to the side. And then just breathing, try and breathe, into your lower belly, and then try and breathe into your side ribs and then up into your chest. Don't try to breathe into your neck and throat, but like up to your collarbones. And then release completely, and just stay in that position for a few minutes. Try to enjoy the fact that your spine is now more relaxed, decompressed, and then start reaping the benefits of having a elongated spine and better circulation and nerve flow to the rest of the body. Enjoy.